Hello, it's me again. I can't remember what number on TikTok video this is, but this time I'm talking about, I had this idea about a seed keeper in space, in a space opera, where basically he's interested in food sovereignty. He thinks it's only a concern with indigenous peoples on Earth, but ends up finding out that it's a issue of galactic importance when he's stranded in Imperial space. It starts out with him witnessing crop circles being made in his cornfield that he lives next to. There's this cornfield that's between his house and his grandfather's, and they own it and they farm it. And at night, he sees a bunch of lights in the field, and then there's this. And it ends up, he thinks they're ATV riders ruining the field because that's been known to happen on the res. So I've got kind of res life in the story, and that's what he thinks it is at first. But when he comes out the next morning, he ends up finding out that it's a crop circle, and that's how it starts out, and starts from there. Even though I start out with the alien perspective, because I assume that if I started with his perspective, it would just seem too far out of left field that ends up being a crop circle, and that they're stealing extracting seeds, and basically, and then his grandfather is kind of a cranky old character with weird notions in his head that gets in there, and at one point he decides that he wants to collect um, heritage seeds from around the globe because he's worried that that if anything happens that it might be too far to trek up to the Arctic Circle to get at the Heritage Seed World Bank there. And and I call him a Guax Pine because basically his mother was studying Mohawk at the time that she was pregnant with him, and it means eagle pine and eagle. And it's supposed to be a bald eagle on the tree of peace that gives the League a warning whenever there's danger. And that's kind of like our version of a canary in the coal mine, except it's a eagle in a forest. And that's kind of like what he's like for his people and the people in Imperial space too. And he ends up coming up with a strategy to avert these seed extractions with these crop circles, because he and other indigenous people are going through this with their heritage seeds, and he takes it personally that his seeds are stolen and not the field, the generic white seeds, that his heritage seeds are stolen and not the seeds that are in regular farms. Like, why couldn't they steal from someone else and it's just his heritage seeds? And he takes it personally, and he comes up with a strategy to stop these extractions, and that's how it starts. And he ends up finding out that there's this interstellar company that's doing this, and they try to steal his grandfather's heritage seeds collection because he wants to only concentrate on his people's heritage corn, the heritage seeds of other people's. He thinks that that's too much to ask for one person, and they shouldn't try to compete with the World Bank. I created a book trailer for this, but I thought I'd be better off introducing it. You can get a look at it here and now.
Imagine you're an indigenous man who lives next to a cornfield. One night you see lights in the field and hear strange sounds. You assume it's ATV riders messing up your field, but in the morning you find a crop circle. The crop circle's novella is a close encounter of the third kind filtered through the lens of res life.
So that was the first book trailer for it. I ended up writing a novella for it because I thought that it would be too ambitious a piece and too much for me to just write the entire saga out in a long book. And I was going to have more than one novella, but I hope to have a proper sized novel next. And at least this novella acts like the prequel almost, but I wrote the prequel first instead of finishing the entire story. And for all I know, I may end up using novellas to put it in sections, because now it's like now he's going to end up stranded in imperial space, and the decisions he makes there end up affecting the rest of the galaxy. So it's going to be fun to write, and I hope to get it done, because it ends up being of more importance than he realizes in other ways he doesn't anticipate. And not just in food sovereignty, but I'm going to tell about that issue because I have an idea for another soap opera that I'm writing, and I'm going to end up combining those two in in its own story. But for now, the Seedkeeper is kind of separate from this other soap opera like thing I'm writing about, and they're going to find out about him, that he's there, and that he's going to participate in some major happenings in the next trilogy of the space opera, where basically I combine the Seedkeeper with other space opera elements I'm writing about right now. But in the meantime, you can check out the Crop Circles novella in the Seedkeeper series if you want. The link is in the comment section. Thank you.